My husband's childhood sweetheart pushed me off the cruise ship on purpose when she found out I was pregnant. I did not scream for help. Instead, I held on to my mother-in-law, who had fallen in two, and fought to survive. In my last life, I had screamed for help in the sea. My husband jumped in with others and saved both me and his mother. But his beloved ex, stained with blood, attracted a shark and was torn apart in the water. After she died, my husband said she deserved it for pushing me. He treated me with care and guilt, acting like the perfect husband. But when the baby was born, he killed him. It is your fault, you wretch. I lost the woman I loved because of you. Now it is your turn to feel that pain. I used everything I had left to drag him to death with me. When I opened my eyes again, I was back in the ocean, right before it all happened. Elsa, are you okay? Open your eyes. I heard Lisa Hilton, my mother-in-law's voice. Shocked, I opened my eyes, only to choke hard as a wave crashed into my face. I was back to life. I had returned to the moment right after Jesse Jonathan pushed me off the cruise ship. I had no time to think. I grabbed Lisa with one hand and used the other to paddle hard, trying to get closer to the ship. Stay calm and save your strength, Lisa. I will get you back safely. The waves were rough. A huge one hit us, and we both lost our breath. I held Lisa. Once she caught her breath, she shouted toward the ship, Wayne, that wretch Jesse pushed me and your wife into the water. Hurry and send someone down. I told you she was evil. She is trying to kill us. I turned to look at her angry face. My chest ached. She had no idea that Jesse would soon jump off the other side of the ship on purpose. She only did it to distract Wayne Hilton, my husband, to make him forget about me, his wife, and his own mother. Sure enough, screams soon came from the opposite side of the ship. Wayne, help. Then I heard Wayne shout in panic. Don't be afraid, Jesse. Hold on. Everyone, jump in right now. Save Jesse first. Lisa widened her eyes in shock when she heard his voice. However, before she could say anything, another wave hit. She gasped and fainted. She went limp, and her full weight dragged me down. Tears ran down my face, but I bit my lip and stayed silent. The sea wind carried their voices to me. How did you fall in? Where is Elsa? She pushed me. She wanted me to disappear, right here at sea. Then she ran and hid. I feel so sick. Wayne, stay awake. Jesse, turn the ship around. Take Jesse to the best hospital. But both Mrs. Hiltons are missing. I think they both fell in, too. Elsa pushed Jesse. She must be hiding somewhere. Don't worry about her. I will make her kneel and beg Jesse for forgiveness when I find her. My heart sank. My body stopped fighting. Just then, Lisa suddenly coughed up water and gasped for air. I snapped out of it and kept swimming, dragging her with me. The ship's engines had already started. The waves grew stronger, slapping me again and again. Wayne's ship sailed farther and farther away. I could no longer catch up. Lisa forced her eyes open, gasping for breath as she struggled to shout angrily, Wayne, you fool. How could you just sail away when your wife and mother are still in the water? Don't you know Elsa is carrying your child? The wind howled, tearing her words apart and scattering them across the sea. Wayne only cared about Jesse. He did not have the time or care to worry about me. Lisa was visibly overtaken with fury and grief, but in the end, her strength gave out, and she passed out again. At that moment, I realized the shark swarm from my past life was slowly gathering around us. I was terrified and started swimming desperately in the opposite direction. However, I was pregnant, and I was holding on to an adult. No matter how hard I swam, I could not create any distance between us. I thought, in despair, that I might not escape. Wayne resented me for calling out loudly, interrupting him to save Jesse. Of course, I owed him nothing in this life. I began to stop struggling, pulled deeper into the water by Lisa's weight. Just as I closed my eyes, a shout echoed from nearby, Mrs. Hilton, hold on. I looked up in surprise and saw Wayne's driver, Carson Moore, coming toward us on a small boat. I lifted Lisa with my full strength and tried to put her on the boat. Carson gave me a hand and we managed to get Lisa safely onto the boat. Carson wiped his face casually and reached out to me, saying, I heard you both. Jesse kept saying you were still on the ship. Luckily, before he could finish, he suddenly raised the paddle and struck it down toward me. I turned in shock, only to realize a shark had silently swum up to my side. I scrambled desperately with both hands and feet to land on the boat. Finally, I landed on the boat. I wanted to say thank you, but I could no longer keep myself conscious. I passed out. When I opened my eyes again, I found myself in a hospital. To my surprise, Wayne was sitting beside my bed. His voice was filled with icy anger. Elsa, do you have any idea what you've done? I tried to sit up, but every part of me hurt. Seeing me in such a sorry state, Wayne looked at me with nothing but mockery. Are you playing weak? You pushed Jesse into the sea, then tried to drown yourself to escape responsibility. You're disgusting. Do you know you almost killed my mother and Carson? They're both still unconscious. If anything happens to them, I'll make you pay with your life. Just as he finished speaking, Jessie entered the ward, tears in her eyes, and knelt before me. I'll leave both of you alone. Is that what you want, Elsa? Please, stop exploiting the title of Mrs. Hilton. She stood up and rushed toward the door. Wayne quickly grabbed Jessie's arm and said, you can stay. Elsa is leaving. I forced myself to stand, looking coldly at them. Before I could speak, Jessie screamed and took a step back. Wayne, she's going to hit me again. I'm scared. Wayne, full of anger, kicked me without thinking. I crashed into the bed, falling hard onto the floor. A sharp pain spread from my back as though my bones had shattered, and then I felt blood flowing between my legs. My baby, Wayne, still holding Jessie, looked at me full of hostility. Stop pretending. Do you really think I'll fall for it again? Without another word, he scooped Jessie into his arms, carrying her like a princess. You're not in a good condition. Let me send you back to your ward. The doctor rushed in, saw the blood under me, and clicked his tongue. What goes around comes around. You always tried to hurt Ms. Jonathan. In the end, you killed your own child. He told the nurses to lift me onto a stretcher. You can't keep the baby, and since we're low on anesthesia today, I'm sure a heartless woman like you won't mind the pain. They strapped me to the table, gagged me, and took my baby away while I was still awake. The pain was unbearable. My tears and sweat soaked the table. I struggled as hard as I could. In the end, I passed out. A week later, I saw Wayne again. One of his men dragged me out of the hospital bed and threw me back into the Hilton's villa. In the living room, Jessie rested her head on Wayne's leg hug like they were lovers. Elsa, you tried to kill Jessie. Get down and apologize to her, Wayne said coldly. I forced myself to stay upright and looked at the bodyguards beside me. Are you really forcing me to apologize to the person who tried to kill me? Jessie's expression changed. Her voice shook as she cried. Wayne, she's not admitting what she did. I'm scared. She pushed me into the sea in front of you. What if she actually kills me one day? I don't want to live like this anymore. Wayne calmed her down, then glared at me. I didn't know you were this good at lying, Elsa. You were jealous and pushed Jessie into the water. You hurt my mom and Carson too. They're still in the hospital. I had lost the baby. I had nothing left tying me to Wayne. I just wanted to leave. Jessie pushed me. I'm the one who got hurt. The truth is in the CCTV footage. Jessie suddenly dropped to her knees like she had gone crazy. I'll leave Wayne alone. Just let me go. Fine, it's all my fault. I'm the bad guy here. I just want you and Wayne to be happy. Please stop hurting people. I shook her hand off, and all of a sudden, she screamed and fell to the floor. Seeing her fall, Wayne's face twisted in anger. Jessie can't even swim. Why would she fake drowning just to frame you? You said her kidnapping was fake. Now you say this was fake too? Do you think I still believe you after all these years? I would have sent you to jail already if you weren't carrying my child. I tried not to cry, but the tears still fell. If you think I'm guilty, go to the police. I believe they'll give us the truth. And don't you worry about the baby anymore. It's gone. I want a divorce. We're done. Wayne stared at me in shock. His eyes dropped to my belly and locked there. Did you get rid of the baby? How could you do that? You wanted this child the most.